we have had a lovely new moon that has given those who are in the 5D collective the capacity to notice how to vibe with your tribe. Your tribe is going to be here at IHP, Woo Woo Spiritual, with Pseudoscience Podcast host lady, and the ones of us who know attachment trauma information, which is why self-help, personal development, and anyone who's looking to do more within their spectrum of emotions will be able to hear the truth. So the truth sets you free when you notice that you can contain your emotions and then alchemize. You alchemize thoughts, you alchemize the capacity for you to notice if you have one of those child parts coming out, and you therefore have the capacity to know the truth of, I don't want to project, I want to empower. Okay, so we empower each other by creating Christ consciousness type conversations. So like Jesus, who shared with us forgiveness, turning the other cheek, empowering ourselves with self-awareness and accountability. And then again, the sciences of your first year of life. Was it welcoming your home and uniting? And here's where we have our lovely Sadhguru. If your humanity overflows, divinity will come in search of you. Or there's another way they pose the same quote. When you overflow with humanity, divinity has to descend. Now, this divinity, I'm going to share it with you. Drum roll. It's the Enlightenment Soul Age Group. It is the integration of the brain, and that's where your host is at. So we have the capacity to be prefrontal cortex. Why? Because a default mode network is downregulated in an integrated brain. Why? Because my left chit chatter and my right are friends. Why? Because I don't have low self-esteem. I embody self-worth. Why? Because I don't look for your thumbs up or thumbs down here. Why? Because I'm a securely attached functional adult, 0-1-year-old with a healthy self-worth and I'm an empowered woman. Why? Because I got to have secure attachment my first year of life. My third, I stayed differentiated. No shame button here. There's a love button. And then I got to be raised with Jesus and God. And today I call God Akash, essence of life, essence of love. I'm a woo-woo spiritual. And I also call any person who is not expanding still a professional, but the ones that serve the mantle people. Okay, so when we have spiritual bypassers, savior complex, people who are not objectively looking at their own self as well and stuff like that, it's okay. We don't have to, again, spell out the truth to the ears that can't hear. We know of biological rudeness. Thank you, Stephen Porges. It's when a person's in a safety behavior, and when we have a Cusco, that's all of people in safety behaviors. When we have a Pacha, that will be those of you who come here for one-to-one mentorship, for the masterclass, Ask Maria, you're interested in becoming your emotional leader, and that's because you run with emotions first. And when you can contain them, that's only one step. That's called mental and emotional mastery. Why mental? Because you won't be able to think with the inner growth mindset. You can't alchemize emotions if you don't notice the sensations that arise and then say, okay, am I charged right now? Did I get triggered? Did I have some stuff come up? Am I projecting? Let me be an observer of myself for a minute. Okay, well, there are things that I do know about me as a baby. Okay, so we can know ourselves really lovely in a way that is objective. Sometimes we use words differently, and that's in our tribe. Sometimes we use emotions differently, and that's again in a human tribe. So with this new moon, what you will have noticed is how to grow closer to a life that allows you to follow a truth from the heart. So emotional, mental maturity, the 5D collective, sciences, spirituality, living a life of meaning and connection beyond the solo self, because we're a human herd. So we have a dynamic. And then together with empowered and emotionally open-hearted voices and communities who care, again, official therapists, official spiritual people. And when I say official, or when I'm using words, trying to underline something, but I'm not using them like a dictionary. I'm not a linear thinker. I'm not breaking things down with my left mode. I'm a analogical feeler. And so what comes up is here. And then this just creates the words that I've assimilated throughout the years of my 44 years of life, which is why when someone says you stupid, I'm like, well, not really, but I am woo-woo, but not in a way of disrespecting the spiritual stuff. But that's where for any one of you who's a mystic and you're looking for a 5D journey. Come on over, let's have a consult. And let's talk about what spiritual awakening guidance looks like in 2024 with sciences and spirituality. Because if there's one thing that I've noticed is this. And that's why I am the woo-woo spiritual mystic here who loves to bring to you pseudoscience and self-help professional tips and voices and stories and perspectives and all of that, which is a life coach's journey, lots of words, and a content creator's journey. And I'm very grateful and thankful that I can be here to support the people who do want to be their self. And see, the ones who don't, they're going to go to the very other people that will tell them what their ears want to hear, not what the truth is, which is your 0-1-year-olds waiting for you to come home. However you get home, no, you can get home because your herd is going to tell you when your tone, when your mannerisms, when your behavior gets into the mix. That's the moment where you can hear what you want to hear, or you can hear the truth and say, you know what, you're right. I have low self-esteem. I am an indirect communicator. I am passive aggressive. I don't know how to pick in the way that is my inner and outer well-being, but I can learn about that attachment pattern and get out of it. This is as straightforward as even just the attachment pattern is the first step. Attachment category, you get out of it. Adaptive child, maladaptive child, it's all healable. Then you see people online saying, the therapist said I'm doing a good job. Since people are fucked up, I'm just going to stay avoidant. Wow, that certainly is something up. But we have the spiritual woo-woo, my collective of 5D mystics. Come on over. Practitioners will take us as woo-woo crazy with our nightmares, our past lives, our dreams, our clashing realities. And this is the part of why any person who I consider wanting to help people, an official therapist, will not use words of woo-woo when they know there's so many of us out there that are spiritual. And it's not about the word. The people who say it in a way of being open to it, you can hear the tone. There's the ones who say it with a very different tone, and there's also the ones who completely will say that what we live is an untruth. That's the way they feel about it. So here's the thing about being a nervous system and an embodied brain, all of us. Yes, we all will think as we're feeling. And that's why we can take a look at ourselves and know if it's personal, put it to the side emotionally, and then notice, though, what's coming in the forefront as well. Okay, so long story short, this lovely new moon, it's allowed you to get clear on the tribe that you vibe with, and that is where we're going to close this one out for now. I'm going to have some more episodes for you later on today. But the open-hearted tribe, we love all people who are helping people to be their authentic self, official good therapists, official good woo-woo spiritual, and good doesn't mean good because they're a good witch or a bad witch. No, it means that they are good at learning and continuing to expand their education. They're good at differentiating and knowing quantitative data. They're good at taking qualitative and analyzing it. They're good at actually consistently being a mind that expands versus one that in any way, shape, or form at all thinks of one group of people being more ideal than another group of people to help people. That's actually not the way it works. For a personal development life coach person here, the way it works is if you feel safe with me and welcomed, which is everything a good therapist will inform you about, you're going to come to me, which is why I've consistently asked every official therapist, what do I do if I need you? Because I'm not you. Don't worry, it'll be fine. So the in and out groups, I have seen those on all sides, spiritual bypassers, savior complex, and professionals who say, we're better than they are. Nobody's better than anybody, because this better thing is a teenager's attitude versus I want to help people. How am I going to help them? Mental hygiene, mental health is what I'm talking about. I'm going to help them by making sure they're welcomed, first of all. Then I'm going to help them by seeing how I can communicate to them. Then I'm going to notice if this is a person who wants to hear the truth or is blinded by it on purpose because they're not ready to meet their 0-1-year-old. And no matter how many times you try and twist and turn it, that 16-year-old keeps on twisting it to their volition because you got a porous, love-dependent, or an avoidant love person. And in these equations, you got a 1-year-old that has nobody home, and the 3-year-old's not home, and the 16-year-old thinks they know what they're doing, and they're not listening to the human being. Here's why, again, the analysis and the exploration and the capacity to say everything in you is human, and it's all about your child parts. And that's why the spiritual awakening journey for my mystics, it's about you embodying you first of all. And if we need, we get good support, because as Patrick McNamara points out, there's a fear receptor in the brain of people that have nightmares over and over and over and over again. He studies the human being brain. He's a neuroscientist. So that's why people need the woo-woo spiritual in-betweens who will know that what you go through is not bullshit, in a way of what instead those who have none of the experiences we have will think that it's bullshit, and they will treat it like a dream. They will treat what you go through in a way that is not how we experience it. And that's why I completely will know every person that has told me, no, bad, I don't like therapists. No, they don't welcome me. Nope, I don't want it. They're telling me so. The other extreme, obviously, no extreme is the land of the truth. The land of the truth is that we have people who have subjective experiences. So sometimes they'll end up with good spiritual practitioners, good therapy practitioners. Not good. When they have not good, what happens? Now we got an experience. Now they're doing that thing called generalized thinking. And that generalized thinking keeps people, it's a cognitive style, in that PTSD experience, in the trust break experience. It doesn't have to be post-traumatic, but basically an overwhelming event takes place or more, and you have a negative experience associated with it. And so it's not about the professionals and the titles. Again, it's about understanding with your ears. We are all emotional beings who have emotions that come up and sensations and thoughts, and then our experiences can taint that. Here we try to make sure you notice how to get out of the tainting, because you want to do yourself, be the authentic self, and that begins with you being able to get to your 0-1-year-old. It doesn't end there. No, it begins, because that's the first step that we're going to want to figure out is what's your attachment pattern and category, and that's where you work backwards. No, you work from that, noticing what self-regulating mechanisms you have that are unhealthy, what your emotional triggers are. These are all aspects, whether you're spiritual or not, doesn't matter. You're going to have them because you're an embodied brain, just like any one of us. So we're all humans. That's the number one. We all can be professionals that are trying to do what we do, and content creators, which is help humanity to come together to learn how to discern, differentiate, and to remember we're having chit chats here and anywhere, whether it's channel guidance, whether it's tarot, whatever we are doing with our lovely presence, it is to bring together each other. Nobody is setting things in stone here. That's the left mode brainers who are non-bilaterally integrated. So they will do things that are very analytical. And I have seen them. That's another group. This is not IHP. We're all 3-year-olds who are having fun with paint and 1-year-olds. And then, with our adult selves, we're saying, okay, come on, 16-year-olds too. We're all having a good time, expanding consciousness, self-help, personal development, spiritual awakening guidance, mystic journey. It's fun in the 5D plane because it's called Christ consciousness for a reason. It's called I forgive, I love, and it's unconditional. And we're open-hearted because, like Pacha shares with Cusco, you have a heart. Nobody's heartless. And that's what we know for sure. And anybody who doesn't know their heart yet, there's an inner child waiting to come out and play. So we will not ever, as long as I'm living, say that a person is not going to be able to get home to themselves. No, there's good therapists and there's good woo-woo spiritual people like me and others, not just me. There's plenty of those lovely mystics out there. I'm trying to pinpoint them, but in the meantime, I'm here for those who are aware of the difference between being able to embrace and embody your humanity as a mystic versus what else a journey people keep doing, which is thinking that technology, sciences, and anything that is, education is not something that's supporting. It's supporting. And I have been, by the way, noticing the ones who are bringing together their spirituality and sciences in the 2024. It's really nice. So to be continued. In the meantime, I hope you had a wonderful new moon. This guidance comes a day after it. But on that note, we still discuss very important topics. So thank you for stopping by. Have a great day.